So you see this? So Israel says that thousands of cars destroyed at the festival on October 7th are to be cut up into pieces and buried underground as a mark of respect to those who were killed. You know, the way it's the same respect we show the victims of 9/11 when we carted away any shred of evidence that could have been conclusive proofs of the culprits, right? It's the same way we hid the Kennedy assassination information for more than 2 generations. You know, this the way they wanted to bury the Pfizer information from the public for 75 years. It's because those people did something so good the public can't handle finding out about it. It's like a surprise party. You don't want to ruin the surprise, am I right? And there's no greater sign of respect which you can show the dead, than to completely hide the evidence of who killed them. Am I wrong?
Well, not only that, didn't we buried bin Laden at sea, right? We never saw the body of Osama
out of respect.
Yeah, out of respect.
And why did we kill him in the first place? Not because we didn't want him testifying in open court about actually what happened on 9/11 and what his plans were and all that stuff. No, we did it, out of respect again. We killed him. But you know how they have, you heard of Plant a Tree for Israel program? This is Plant a Car Destroyed by Israel program. This is the same. It's a little bit of a different thing. So,
well, they should do what we do here in America. They should build a big tower and a memorial and a food court and sell hats and T-shirts. It'll be a big tourist attraction like Ground Zero was, and
it is kind of gross.
That's the American way.
It is kind of gross. So Max Blumenthal. So I don't know if people know this, but this is not. I don't think this is controversial anymore. That Israel's attack helicopters killed a lot of their own people on October 7th, right? So I'm not, according to YouTube rules, I'm not denying a mass, violent event. I'm saying it happened. I'm just saying that now it's been revealed. Didn't the IDF also admit that they did this, or no? What is your information?
They have now admitted it. They came out and admitted it, and they're really using that to try to claim credibility in every other area. You see, how could we be lying about killing the children? We came out on our own and admitted we killed our own people. See how honest we are.
So Max Blumenthal tweets out, as evidence of friendly fire killings on October 7th mounts, Israel plans to bury cars containing important forensic evidence which were burned in southern Gaza. It will shred the cars completely before burying them to be as environmentally friendly as possible. Yeah, that's talk, because there's no, you know how when you shred cars and then bury them underground, there's no way they make it into the groundwater. There's not a chance.
No, of course not. Of course not. That was how they in the Pixar film. That was how they buried the cars, right? I think that's where they're taking that from.
What movie was that?
That was Cars. It was actually called Cars.
It was
Pixar.
Pixar. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is from the Jerusalem Post. This is why Israel plans to bury hundreds of cars with ashes and bloodstains to preserve the sanctity of those murdered by Hamas. For the first time since the establishment of the state, they decided to bury the vehicles. That's from November 22nd. It was updated. This is real. Let me just...
Yeah, that's bizarre.
In order to save space and be as environmentally... You can't make this shit up. In order to save space and be as environmentally friendly as possible, Hasid explained that the cars may be shredded before being buried. The underlying rationale behind this initiative is to maximize space efficiency by compacting the existing vehicles. Here's another article from The Cradle. Israeli Apache helicopters killed their own soldiers and civilians on October 7th. That's from a report, and the subheadline is, new footage corroborates previous reports that say the Israeli military is responsible for many of the Israeli casualties during the first day of Operation Al-Aqsa flood. This is from November 9th. That's The Cradle. So there's no way Hamas, because a lot of people pointed out that there wasn't a way for Hamas to have the ammo or the fire capability to do this to these cars. They were a bunch of guys in Adidas sweats and hang gliders. And how would they do this? So that could only come from like an Apache helicopter type thing. According to the Jerusalem Post, to preserve the sanctity of those murdered, they've decided to do that. Do you see what's happening here? Asked Max Blumenthal. I see what's happening here. Here's one more. I'll give you narrator voice. This was not why Israel planned to bury hundreds of cars. So let me bring in the Due Dissidence fellas again. What they're doing this right out in public, right? But we've gotten used to this kind of stuff happening out in public, and they told you to ignore the evidence of your own eyes and ears. It was their final and most essential command. Is that what this is?
Yeah, it's really bizarre. I mean, when they do something that at best, at its most innocent, is a complete and total waste of time. Why would they have to do this now? What is the urgency of doing this right now that they have to announce? Oh, yeah, we're at war. We're in a civilizational battle for our own existence as a state. But we just want everybody to know one of our main priorities right now is shredding hundreds of cars and burying them under the ground to pay respects to the victims, right? They're not even claiming that it serves any kind of like utilitarian purpose. No, first thing we have to do, we have to build a junkyard memorial, a scrapyard memorial to the victims of the attack. Yeah, it's totally bizarre. It makes no sense.
Well, originally it was going to be a fountain art sculpture, but people felt that would be tasteless.
Yeah, right.
So they admit that Israeli Apache helicopters killed their own soldiers and civilians on October 7th. And my question is, where did the IDF think they were? The Las Vegas Mandalay Bay? Come on, am I right? We pay our American tax dollars for those helicopters, and they should be used here in America.
Exactly.
Wow, this was. Honestly, if you saw my last segment on Rumble and now this here, I just don't know why there isn't a revolution in every country in the world at this moment right now. I mean, an actual real revolution, not that pretend January 6th bullshit that was a psyop committed by the FBI. I'm talking about a real revolution where people show up and overthrow governments. We're doing live comedy shows in Oxnard, California, Venice, California, Palmdale, California, Omaha, Nebraska, Des Moines, Milwaukee, Lansing, Michigan, Bend, Oregon, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, and Boston. Plus, we're going to put a date in Edmonton, Canada, plus Vancouver. See ya. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.